Have you ever felt like you are running a race where the finish line keeps moving further away every single year? You open a financial magazine or watch a news segment, and they tell you the same thing over and over again. They say that if you do not have at least $1 or $2 million saved, you are doomed to a life of struggle. They show you images of luxury yachts and private islands, and they call that retirement. But for the average person who has worked hard for 40 years, those numbers feel like a heavy weight on the chest. It creates a sense of guilt and a constant fear that you have somehow failed because your bank account does not have seven figures. Today, I want to invite you to take a deep breath and let that weight go. The truth is that the $1 million retirement benchmark is one of the greatest myths of our modern age. It is a number designed to sell products and create urgency, but it often ignores the reality of how millions of people actually live. Let us start by looking at the real numbers that the media rarely mentions. According to data from the Federal Reserve, the vast majority of Americans are not even close to being millionaires. In fact, only about 3% of households approaching retirement age have more than $1 million in their accounts. That means 97% of the people around you are in the exact same boat as you are. The median retirement savings for someone in their early 60s is actually closer to $200,000. So, if you have been feeling like an outsider or a failure, please realize that you are actually part of the hard-working majority. Wealth is not just about the size of the pile of gold you're sitting on. Real financial peace comes from understanding how your income actually works and how to manage the life you want to lead. The pressure to reach $1 million often leads people to make risky investments or work themselves into the ground. But what if I told you that you could find security and happiness with significantly less than that? Let us talk about a more realistic milestone, which is $500,000. For many, $500,000 sounds much more achievable than $1 million, but they worry it is not enough. However, when you combine that amount with the systems already in place, the picture changes completely. Think about the widely respected 4% rule in the world of finance. This rule suggests that you can safely withdraw 4% of your portfolio every year without running out of money for decades. On a $500,000 portfolio, that gives you $20,000 of income every single year. Now, $20,000 on its own might not sound like much, but it is not your only source of fuel. This is where the Social Security Administration comes in to provide the backbone of your plan. As of this year, the average monthly benefit for a retired worker is over $2,000. That means a single person is bringing in roughly $24,000 a year from the government. When you add your $20,000 from your private savings, you are looking at $44,000 of annual income. If you are part of a married couple where both partners worked, that total income can easily climb to $60,000 or $70,000. For many households in America, $60,000 of steady, reliable income is more than enough to live a very comfortable life. This is especially true if you have spent your working years making smart decisions with your debt. The real key to a happy retirement is not the income you bring in, but the amount of money that stays in your pocket. If your home is paid off and you have eliminated high-interest debt, your monthly expenses drop dramatically. You do not need $1 million when you do not have a $1,000 monthly car payment or a massive mortgage. Retirement peace is about the gap between what you have and what you spend. Many people find that by downsizing their lifestyle, they actually increase their quality of life. Moving to a smaller, more manageable home can free up equity and reduce the stress of constant maintenance. It allows you to focus on experiences and relationships rather than managing a large property. We also have to talk about the psychological aspect of this journey. When you stop chasing a fantasy number, you stop living in a state of constant anxiety. You can start enjoying the present moment and the fruits of your labor right now. The fear of being a burden to your children is a very real emotion for many of us. But children do not want you to be a millionaire. They want you to be healthy, happy, and present in their lives. By choosing a realistic path, you are actually giving them a gift. You are showing them that life is about balance and wisdom, not just the accumulation of assets. Another important factor is the cost of living in different parts of the country. $1 million in New York City is very different from $1 million in the Midwest or the South. By being flexible and open to new environments, you can make your savings stretch much further than you imagined. There are beautiful communities all across this country where a modest income provides a very high standard of living. We must also consider the value of your health as your greatest financial asset. When you are healthy and active, you spend less on medical bills and more on the things you love. Investing in your physical well being today is the best way to protect your retirement account tomorrow. Small habits like walking every day and eating well are just as important as your stock portfolio. They ensure that you have the energy to actually enjoy the freedom you have worked so hard to achieve. Let us reflect on the idea of responsibility and personal choice. The world will always try to tell you that you need more. More clothes, faster cars, and bigger bank accounts. But you have the power to decide what is enough for you. Once you define what enough looks like, the race is over, and you have already won. I have seen many people reach the $1 million mark only to realize they are still unhappy because they never learned how to live. On the other hand, I know retirees with modest savings who are the happiest people I've ever met. They spend their days gardening, volunteering, and playing with their grandchildren. They are not worried about the daily fluctuations of the stock market because they have built a life based on simplicity and gratitude. That is the true definition of a successful retirement. It is the ability to wake up every morning and decide exactly how you want to spend your time. If you are currently in your 50s or 60s and feeling behind, please do not give up. It is never too late to start plugging the leaks in your financial bucket. Start by looking at your subscriptions, your insurance rates, and your daily spending habits. Redirecting even a small amount of money into a high yield account can build momentum quickly. Every $1,000 you save is another stone in the foundation of your future security. The goal of this video is to give you permission to stop stressing. The math is on your side if you are willing to be honest about your needs. You do not need to discover a secret stock or win the lottery. You just need to stay consistent, stay informed, and trust the process. The second half of your life should be about meaning and peace, not spreadsheets and worry. As you look toward the horizon, focus on the things that truly matter. Focus on your faith, your family, and your community. The money is simply a tool to help you support those priorities. When you put your values first, the financial pieces tend to fall into place. I hope this perspective has helped you see your future in a brighter, more realistic light. You have worked hard, and you deserve to feel confident about the road ahead. Take a moment today to review your own numbers and see where you truly stand. You might find that you are much closer to the finish line than the media wants you to believe. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your peace of mind is worth more than any number on a screen. May you find the freedom and security you are looking for. And remember, you are doing better than you think. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.